be strong.
Hey everyone. Welcome to the Davis's journey to financial freedom. Here is the long-awaited big reveal video that I have promised you guys. I had recorded this a couple of weeks ago, and then it kept freezing up on me. And so I'm just now getting a chance to re-record this video for you guys, just to refresh everybody's memory on the garage conversion to a studio apartment that we now have listed on Airbnb. Let's just take a quick look back at what the garage looked like before, or what the studio, I should say, looked like before we did the conversion back in February of this year of 2022. So let's just see here. All right, folks, this is the beginning of the garage conversion to an apartment studio. I forgot to make a video showing before my partner in crime actually tore out all of the old cabinets that were in here, right along this area. So I'm going to take the sound off and just kind of talk you guys through it. As you guys can see, this I'm showing you guys where the bathroom went, and I'm just talking about how in this area, this is actually where the kitchenette is when you first come into the studio. And so beforehand, the previous owners had put a wall up in the area where the bathroom and the kitchenette is. That was actually a little workstation, and they had some old cabinets in there. And so unfortunately, I didn't video record it beforehand, before my husband tore those out. But at any rate, there were some cabinets in there, and because it was being used as a workshop, and there was a sink in there. So we already had water coming into the studio, and we had electrical wiring for lights, although we did still end up having to get the whole entire garage completely rewired and brought up to code, as well as it has its own panel in there. And then the electrician, what they did is they ran the wires from the main box connected to our house underground over to the studio garage. And then they put a panel inside of the studio as well, so that if there's a issue in the studio, the lights and everything, the power can be cut off in the studio, and we don't have to cut the power off in our actual house. All right. Okay. So that was what it looked like beforehand. And this is what it looks like now. And let me just go to that video showing the after effect. Actually, let me show you guys this one. This is after we had gotten the flooring done. Clearing out. So this is where we were more than halfway there. The flooring had been done, the tile had been put in, the flooring, but as you can see, none of the appliances or anything have been done yet. the crown molding, the baseboards hadn't been installed yet, and the bathroom had not been completed. The toilet had not been installed yet. The shower doors had not been put up, or any of that at this point. We had a situation where the plumber that we used, the initial plumber, he cut the piping too short for the shower. So we ended up, and then he bent it trying to make the shower pan fit. So we ended up having to spend out additional money to get that fixed. The floor wasn't level. And so the plumber ended up having to add extra layers to the base of the toilet to get that level and installed. But this is just showing, the progress that we have made up to that point. Okay. And so I'm just, talking about, what's all left that had to be done. We did go through our city and we got permits and everything. So we had to have multiple inspections at each step of the way. Before they could put the sheetrock up, we had to have the inspector come out and review the roughin. And then once he signed off on that, then we were able to have the sheetrock put up. And then we had to have the inspector come out. I think they ended up coming out about 3 times to inspect the roughin, and then in between, and then the final. We also had to purchase a trencher to dig a trench in our backyard to connect the sewer piping to the main sewer system of our house. So that was another part of the process. And I don't think I showed that trench in the backyard, but it was about 75 feet, I think, from the outlet to connected to the studio toilet system. Okay. All right. So now let's go get the video showing you guys the final product, or the final, should I say, studio. Where is it? All right. Okay.
Well, hello, folks. Welcome.
So this is just me talking. And I think this was when somebody called me. So the video went dark. But anyway.
All right, welcome, folks, to our Southern Studio Cottage big reveal. I recorded this once before, but it kept buffering. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen this time around, but we shall see. All right. So this is the front where our guests park, right in front of the cottage wall here where it says guest parking. I don't know how to flip this camera around so that it's forward. So I'm doing it this way because I don't know how to do it any other way. So this is underneath the carport where guests would walk. And I'm going to turn the camera this way so that you guys can see. This is our little area for people that smoke. We have a little designated area right there. Never mind the couple little items over there on the chair. So we have it set up with the August lock, and which makes it easy. So when a person books, they get a link to download the lock, and they use the lock to access. And then when you're inside, you just close it like that, lock it like that. So that's how it locks. And it will automatically lock after a period of time. I think it's 30 seconds. So this is the kitchen area. And yeah, so this is the kitchen area. We had our contractor just make this little cabinet area here. Um, this is a two-piece electric burner cooktop stove there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Microwave, everything is equipped. Yeah, what that a person would need to, make them, little meals or whatever. Underneath, that's where we keep the dishes and stuff, a little safe there. We provide for our guests. Uh, this is the bathroom. You can see, we had a full shower installed, glass shower. It's already got the hookups for a stackable washer and dryer. We had gotten one and then it didn't work from Lowe's, so we had to send it back, and we just haven't purchased another one. But we do plan on doing that. One sink cabinet there. And yeah, so this is the bathroom, guys. And they made it pretty big, so if a person, is wheelchair or something like that, they would have no problems with being able to access the bathroom. This is the mini fridge here, and it's got a little uh, small freezer up top here. And we usually, have some waters or whatever. These couple of things was just kind of left over from family that came and stayed for a week. I had initially put a fold down table here, but some of our first guests that used to rent at the studio broke that, and so we decided not to replace that. Instead, we just put these TV trays here for guest convenience. Nice queen size bed, and then that's the office area right there with the desk and chair. Up top is the air conditioner slash heater, and that's operable with the remote. This is a nice little closet here for guests to put their clothes and whatnot. And, ceiling fan as well, blackout curtains. This was open, and I used to park my car in here. And of course, it was just a garage, just the studs. There was no walls or anything like that up. So, we had all.
I didn't realize that I that the sound was gone. Unfortunately, sorry about that. But anyways, I just continue to talk about the video.
Electrician was about $3,000, 3,500, something like that. The plumbing, we probably spent over $2,000 for that. And then the rest was the actual construction with the walls and the drywall and the paint and the crown molding. As you can see, the base molding with the higher baseboards. I think those are 4.5 inches. And a lot of the furniture we already had, we took from out of the house.
Again, I lost connection, unfortunately. But I just basically summed up what what the costs were, and just basically talked about how we probably spent about 32,000 somewhere in there. I used to have a big old bag of all of the receipts and stuff, and I have it somewhere. I put it up somewhere once everything was all done. But anyways, and I would say because of inflation and the increase in the cost of materials and everything, we of that 30 to 32,000 that we spent, more than half of that, or at least half of that, I would say, was just on materials. Um, just the stuff just adds up, between having to rent some of the equipment that our handymen and contractors didn't have, that we had to rent. And then, the price of the materials just, seemed like they just kept going up every week. We started the project back last year, like really, really started it last year around July or so. I think it was between July and September, something like that. And we went through multiple different contractors, or so-called contractors or whatever, and ultimately was able to get it all finished up with a local contractor here in town, named Tyrone Green, or Thaddeus Green, I guess technically, and I forget his company name, but he's on my Facebook friends list. So if you live in Louisiana and you're looking for a contractor or whatever, and you're in the central northern Louisiana area, you can hit me up if you want his phone number or whatever, and I'll be more than happy to give it to you. He's a fair guy, he's reliable. He doesn't do all the work himself, though. He has other guys come in and do the work, but he monitors them very closely. He pretty much almost every day came by to see how things were going, and to make sure that the guys were doing the job and doing it correctly. And if anything came up, or if we had any problems or issues or whatever, he did whatever he could do to make it right. So we appreciate that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So, I definitely want to encourage you guys that if you're thinking about doing Airbnb or anything like that, you can do exactly what I did, which was, I started out doing a couple of spare rooms in my house. And then once my husband and I got together, because we just got married about 6 months ago. But anyways, once we got together, he wasn't too fond of having strangers in the house. So he's like, let's convert the garage, over to a little studio apartment. And so that's why we get with that. And I was kind of getting a little tired and wore out of having, people in the house with us. So it all worked out. And now we are looking because there's a huge empty lot next to us that's owned by the city here. It's over 4.5 acres. So we're going to look to reach out to the city, see if they're interested in selling some of it, and expanding out. I was just watching a couple videos the other day of some other couples that are doing short-term rentals, and they started out the same way we did, with renting out rooms in their home. And then at one point they started renting their whole entire house out. And then from there, they were able to save up enough capital, along with getting a high interest rate loan, and building their first, I think it was like a container home or something like that, on their land. And then from there, they've added several other unique type of short-term rentals. I think they did like a van conversion or something like that. And then a couple of tree houses, where the houses are built around some of the big trees on their property. And so now they're up to, I want to say they have about 5 or 6 unique tiny homes on their property, and they're bringing in about $700,000 a year in revenue from their short-term rental business. And so now they're branching out and buying land in other states, and they plan on doing kind of the same thing, with having, multiple unique style tiny homes and stuff like that on the property, and being able to host events like weddings and stuff like that. So that's kind of something that we're talking about, looking at doing. So I'll keep you guys posted if we're able to get a piece of the land that's next to our property. And if we are, then the plan is to put a couple of um, tiny homes on those, or manufactured homes or something like that on that um, lot. And also, my parents are talking about moving back to Louisiana. Well, my mom is from Louisiana, and so she's been talking about wanting to come back home. Um, and so, if we're able to secure that land next to us, then that's another thing that we're going to be looking at doing, is putting a nice manufactured home on there for them, as well as additional units for short-term rentals. We have the studio listed on Airbnb, and that's, I would say, 99.9% of where we've gotten our guests from. But I also have it listed on VRBO. And I didn't know this until I looked it up, but VRBO has it also listed on Expedia. So you can find the studio on Airbnb, of course, VRBO, Expedia, um, and I listed it on Furnish Finders, which is more geared towards healthcare professionals. I have yet to secure anybody for that. I thought I had a nurse for a 3-month stay, until I realized that I've got 3 stays this month. I think, no, 2 stays this month, and then one person staying next month for a few days. Each stay is just a few days, and so when I let the nurse know that, I guess she decided to go another route, because she hasn't booked yet. So, um, but yeah, that's what Furnish Finders is. It's geared towards healthcare professionals. But those are the places that you can find the studio at. Got lots of reviews, and we are a super host on Airbnb. So we have lots of reviews on Airbnb. None on VRBO or Furnish Finders. I've only had one booking from Furnish Finders. I mean, from VRBO. So, but anyways, this is what we've got going on. It's a great side hustle, and it's almost, I would say, hands off. We do have to go in and clean after a guest, leaves or whatever, but it doesn't take very long to do that. Maybe about an hour to do a really, thorough job. Haven't had anybody really leave the studio just in complete disarray. So that's been great. Other than that, is for the most part, it's pretty hands off. If we are out of town or something like that, and I need the studio clean because I had a guest leave while we were, check out while we were gone, then I just call up a family member and have them come over and clean the studio, and then I just pay them, cleaning fee to do that for us. But other than that, it's a great little side hustle. I would say we probably, before, when I was just doing the rooms in the house, averaged about $400 a month or something like that. With the studio, even though we haven't had it up and running for a full year yet, I would say we probably have averaged about 700 a month. And I figure if that is the norm, then it will probably take us about 36 months total to make our money back of what we put in. Um, but it is technically, if you go by the taxes, it'll be sooner than that because of all the great tax write-offs you get when you have real estate and a home-based business. So the plan and the hope is to be able to have short-term rentals in multiple areas. Um, and also we plan on putting a couple of tiny homes on our land in Belize, which if you want to learn more about how to buy land in Belize, you could check out my video on that, and hopefully that'll be up in the right hand corner or whatever. Subscribe to the channel and check out some of the other videos where I've talked about different ways to make extra money and things like that. And I'm also going to do some videos on some lifestyle issues and things like that. So be on the lookout for that as well. So anyways, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. My hope is to be able to get my 4,000 watch time hours before the end of the month, which is the end of the year. So help me out, guys. I would really appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much. See you guys soon. Until next time.